The establishment of Portuguese, Dutch, British, and French factories in India and the Eastern Islands resulted in competition and rivalry amongst them. All of them wanted to excel in trade by earning maximum profits. To prevent each other from profitable trade, the companies were engaged in constant conflicts. They also raised arms against the local ruler. Britishers were successful to defeat Dutch and Portuguese. Now only one rival was left, that is French. In order to have a monopoly over the trade in India and Eastern Islands, it was necessary for Britishers to eliminate their rival. So now the chief amongst them was the French. Britishers and French were traditional rivals in most of the European wars of the 18th century. The conflict of trade interest between them finally ended with the three Anglo-French wars or the Carnatic Wars that were fought from 1746 to 1763 in India. French Governor Dupleix thought that Britishers are going to acquire Pondicherry. It was a French company headquarters, so he captured Madras, and this was the first reason for starting a first Carnatic War. This war ended with the treaty. Treaty was signed and English was successful to restore back Madras. Then the basic issue of Second Carnatic War was the issue of succession. Both the companies wanted their favorite Nawab to be appointed, who could grant them more economic concession. In this war, French were defeated and Muhammad Ali was made Nawab of Karnataka. Again in this war also peace treaty was signed, and then the last war, that is the third Carnatic War. At this time, because of the Battle of Plassey, the Britishers gained control over the rich province of Bengal, and French were handicapped because they had shortage of fund. So again in this battle, the Britishers defeated French, and it started in 1760 to 1763. In 1760, battle at Wandiwash, that is a place in Tamil Nadu, was held, and this war, that is the third Carnatic War, started from 1756 and it ended with the Treaty of Paris in 1763 between France and England. The French company was given back the factories, but they were not allowed to keep their troops. In the 18th century, Bengal was a rich province. It also flourished well in trade and commerce. The English had established their first factory in Bengal in 1651. Siraj-ud-Daulah was young and inexperienced. He was also short-tempered. The English considered it the right time to interfere in the politics of Bengal. They began to fortify Fort William at Calcutta. Aware of the company's political desires, Siraj-ud-Daulah asked the English to immediately stop fortification and pay revenue. When the English refused to obey, Nawab marched with an army of 30,000 soldiers and laid the siege of Calcutta. He captured many company officials, and this was called as the Black Hole Tragedy. When only 23 of English prisoners survived out of 145. When Robert Clive arrived in Calcutta, he was successful in securing the support of Mir Zafar, the commander in chief of Nawab's army. They both joined hands together to depose Siraj-ud-Dawla. The armies of the Nawab and the British faced each other at Plassey. Siraj-ud-Dawla was captured and killed. The Battle of Plassey was the first major victory of the English in India. They now got a monopoly over trade in Bengal, and Mir Zafar was proclaimed the new Nawab of Bengal. Britishers were unhappy with Mir Zafar, so he was replaced with Mir Qasim. Mir Qasim too emerged as threat to the company because now Indian merchants were also able to enjoy concessions which only the British enjoyed so far. After the Battle of Plassey, there was a battle between Mir Qasim and his alliance, the Nawab of Awadh, Shauja ud Dawla, and Shah Alam II, the Mughal emperor, on the one side and the British on the other side. The alliance, along with Mir Qasim, were defeated by the company forces at Buxar. Buxar is a place in Bihar. It was the most decisive battles in Indian history. It made the East India Company the real masters of Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha. Mir Zafar was reinstated, and on his death, they placed his second son, Nizam-ud-Dawla, on the throne. He was made to sign a new treaty. By this treaty, the Nawab was to disband most of his army and to administer Bengal. The right to collect Diwani or land revenues in the provinces of Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha were handed over to the British by the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. In return, the company agreed to pay annually a pension, that is, a secured amount of money. From him, the Diwani of Kara and Allahabad was secured. Then, a new system was introduced. According to this system, the real power of jurisdiction lays with the company, while the responsibility of administration was of the Nawab of Bengal. This was called as dual system of administration. The oppression of the people was increased greatly after this system of administration.